Let's talk about how to build multi-vendor Scrum teams. True story. I was brought in as an agile coach. So the folks on the business side were from one company, that's the client company, and the Scrum team was from another company, a vendor or an outsourced software development partner. And the vendor is the company that hired me as an agile coach. So I introduce agile, Scrum. I have one of the most engaged product owners on the business side that I have had in my life. She participates in a very sincere way. She gets it here in the head, in the heart, in the gut. She's doing all the right things. As we take care of the basics of agile, we were using a tool called Rally. Now it's called CA Agile Central. The client asked if we could use Rally as a single source of truth in terms of the work that needs to be done and to capture information about our backlog, about sprint planning, and then if we can start using information radiators like burn-down charts. This is where we hit a snag. So I get a call from my boss, who was, let's say, a director or VP level person on the vendor side, and he asks me to do one of two things. A, make sure that I can convince the client why, as an agile coach, I think it is inappropriate to capture hours for tasks in Rally, or B, to maintain two sets of books. One set of Rally boards maybe on the vendor side where we are capturing the true hours, and another Rally board, Rally project, which is exposed to the client and which has inflated hours. And I was very confused. It violated my ethics, the Scrum values, transparency, empiricism, the Scrum principle. I couldn't understand it. I said, why would I do that? This violates my ethics. I can't do that. He said, look, this is an elaborate game. When we signed the contract with this client, we told them what is a fair and reasonable hourly rate that would make us a viable company, where we can do business with the client and we can pay a fair rate to our employees and we can stay in business. But the people in the procurement department of the client, they just won't listen to us. So they keep squeezing us like a turnip and they keep negotiating the hours down to such a point that if we want to win the deal, there is no way we can do business at that hourly rate. So because this is a big client, we didn't want to lose the business. We signed the deal at an hourly rate that we knew was not sustainable, and we'd go out of business if we worked for them at that rate. So what do? How do we make sure we can keep the lights on? How do we make sure we can pay our employees? Whenever we do work for this client, we bill them 1.5 or twice the number of hours we actually work for them, because that's the only way we can stay in business. The client knows this, we know it, we never talk about it, but it's a known fact. This is the game that's being played. And now you talk about Scrum and burn-down charts, where the burn-down chart is the canary in the coal mine, is for the team, of the team, and by the team, and it gives them warning about whether or not they are likely to meet the sprint goal, or do they have the ability to pull more work. But now the integrity of the burn-down chart is compromised, because if you have a Scrum team which comprises of the vendor and the client, both sides are trying to use the burn-down chart or the tasks as a way to protect themselves from each other. Members of the vendor are trying to make sure that they don't enter the true hours, because they are scared if they enter the true hours and the client compares the invoice that they receive for the Scrum team, then the client will say, aha, I caught you cheating. And on the other side, the client is trying to figure out, I have a feeling these guys are padding the hours, they should be able to do more, something's just not adding up, what's going on? So now they are scrutinizing the hours in an effort to trap the vendor. When all this energy is being devoted to playing these games, guess what? The sprint goal becomes devalued or gets less attention. Taking care of the customer gets less attention. Empirical management of value, waste, and risk gets less attention. This is the first way not to build a multi-vendor Scrum team. Agile is about customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Agile and Scrum are about transparency, inspection, and adaptation. Scrum is about courage, focus, openness, respect, commitment. When you get into business, either as a vendor or as a client, with some partner that you fundamentally do not trust, Agile and Scrum is not going to work for you. It doesn't make you a bad person, it doesn't make you a bad company, it doesn't make Agile or Scrum bad. It's just that at that point in time, your business practices are incompatible with the core principles and values of Agile and Scrum. So what do? You have a choice to make. So you can either choose to adjust your business practices and start doing business with people that you can trust and find partners who have complementary strengths and shared values. Also, be a trustworthy partner. Stop screwing your vendor. Stop screwing your partners. Give them a fair market value. Allow them to thrive. What's choice number 2? If you find that this is too idealistic, if this is not the way we do things here, if this is unrealistic and impractical, that's okay. Don't use Agile and Scrum. It's clear that you don't understand the fundamental principles and values. Save everybody a lot of trouble. Use some other software delivery methodology or framework, right? Hope you found this useful. Thank you. Keep calm and Scrum on.